Welcome or welcome back to Maya's Glow. I hope you guys are doing well and that you've been keeping safe, and thank you so much for coming over to this space. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining in. So today we're going to be doing a special edition type of video, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And first things first, the reason I'm actually doing this video is because Maya's Glow is now 2 years old. You guys, it's been 2 years since I started my YouTube channel, since I launched my website. So I just wanted to celebrate this momentous moment and just do a special type of video like I did last year for my first anniversary, or for my 1 year anniversary for my brand Maya's Glow. So as per the title of this video suggests, we're actually going to be chatting about Kenya's beauty industry, and I do have some notes here just to, you know, help me keep track and not ramble too much. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on Kenya's beauty industry, where it's at, you know, the different categories that I'm going to talk about in the beauty industry, because the beauty industry is so vast, and I just want to break it down a little bit and share my thoughts on them. So a little disclaimer, this video is not a scientific analysis of Kenya's beauty industry, so I'm not going to be throwing around some stats or, you know, throwing out some research journals for you guys to check out. If you'd want me to do such type of content, please do let me know. For today's video, I just wanted to share with you guys my opinion. So this video will be very subjective, and that's why I actually invite you guys to share your comments in the comment section down below, so that I can just also, you know, get a bit of a perspective from you guys, understand your view of certain aspects within the Kenyan beauty industry. So after all that, quite a long intro, let's get into the video. So since we're going to be talking about beauty in Kenya and the beauty industry in Kenya, I thought, why not start off this video by quickly sharing with you guys some Kenyan products. These are products from Kenyan beauty brand that I actually used today to create my entire look, and one of them is Joanna K Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Flat. That's actually what I have on right now. I did go around the edges with a brown lip liner, and then I topped it off with a clear gloss, but I'm really loving how it looks. So this is what I used on my lips. And then the other product I used is actually for my nails, and this is Luron's nail polish tips and toes nail polish in number 113, which is this really nice, like, neutral warm beige color. Totally obsessed. It's definitely the kind of color I will reach for whenever I'm doing my nails. And then to moisturize my hands, for the past 1 month actually, I've been using Nice and Lovely's Jelly in Cream moisturizer, which is really nice and moisturizing for the hands. It has a very unique kind of consistency. I definitely will say it's one of the first of its kind, because it is like a hybrid of a cream and petroleum jelly all in one. So it's super moisturizing. And then finally I went in with Waithera Beauty's My Leica body mist, which I really love, and I actually did an entire video on Waithera Beauty's body mist, so please do check it out. And I do have an entire video on some of my favorite products from Kenyan brands, so I'm also going to link that video for you guys in the description box. Please do check it out. And now let's get into the meat of this video. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a background of myself as far as beauty and the beauty industry is concerned. I did go in depth on my journey as a beauty content creator in my previous anniversary video, which I'll also link for you guys. Please do check it out. But just a quick little summary is I actually started off in beauty by studying manicure and pedicure. Oh my gosh, this was back in 2013. That period between, you know, finishing high school and joining uni, I decided to actually study nail care. And then the end of 2013, I decided to go and do a makeup course for about 3 months. It was a really intensive makeup course, and that's where I started to also bloom as a makeup artist. And then all this while, I was also a consumer of beauty products and also online and offline beauty materials. So I'd read articles from magazines like True Love. I was definitely just getting into YouTube and learning about all these tutorials that I was seeing, from makeup tutorials, hair care, nail care, skin care. I was really just deep diving into all this information. So I was also learning this information as a consumer of information and as a consumer of products. Even when I was in beauty school for both nail care and makeup artistry, I definitely had to buy products to use for my clients and also products to use for myself, just for my own personal care, and also out of curiosity, because I was always into like testing and trying out different products and just going into beauty stores and actually seeing like what's new in the market, you know, what should I try out, what should we look out for. I was also really into researching the latest beauty trends and stuff that was coming out. And then finally in 2019, I started my YouTube channel, and I also started my website mayasglow.com, and I became a beauty content creator officially. I was still a beauty content creator because I did start my Facebook page in 2015, and around that year I also started posting beauty content on my Instagram as well. But I finally launched into YouTube and on my website in 2019. So all these things, studying nail care, studying makeup artistry, and actually working as a freelance makeup artist for a couple of years, and then being a consumer of beauty content and of, you know, beauty products, and also just being a beauty content creator. So I'm going to pick the knowledge that I have from all these experiences that I've had. So we're going to start off by talking about beauty culture, the beauty culture that I've grown up seeing in Kenya. And you know, if I think way back when to the early 2000s, I know that's not way back when, but it feels like such a long time ago. I just remember the things that were really in was actually hair care. So, you know, having certain types of hairstyles. I remember relaxers were really in during that time. I was in primary school. Yes, I was in primary school. And I also remember brown lipstick and the whole, you know, lining your lips with a black lip liner and then using a red lipstick, which actually, you know, came back into style I think a year or 2 years ago. But that's what I remember, hair care and lipstick. And I think I remember those things, it's because I'd see the women around me use them, or when I'd go to beauty stores, those are the things I'd see. Or even when I'd go to the salon, it was mostly about hair care. Makeup didn't really feature. Again, I just remember seeing lipstick, and I remember also women, you know, doing those really sleek, thin eyebrow styles. So that's what I really remember from way back when. And now, oh my god, the beauty industry has like blown up. Skincare and makeup has really blown up. I feel like it's really at the forefront of the beauty conversation here in Kenya. You know, compared to back then when it was mainly hair care that was featuring. And also with hair care, there have been so many changes with like the natural hair care movement, and also nail care. I remember when I was studying mani-pedi, nail tech was coming in, like acrylics and fiberglass nails. All these things were just coming into the market. So it wasn't just about painting your nails with regular nail polish, gel nail polish was coming in, all this different interesting stuff was coming in. So there was definitely a boom, I'd say from around 2012 up to 2016, like a huge boom in the beauty industry, which I still think is going on up until this point. So yeah, that's just a little background of some of the things I've noticed in Kenya's beauty culture. I definitely want to hear from you guys and know what have you noticed over the years as far as what's in with beauty in Kenya. So next, I want to talk about something that's really been on my mind, and it's one of the things that really motivated me to create this video, and it's about retail. So the beauty industry in Kenya, specifically retail. And when you talk about retail, I'm going to talk about brick and mortar type of retail, where there's a physical shop where you go and buy your beauty products, or you go buy your beauty products in the beauty aisle in the supermarket, versus e-commerce, which is buying your beauty products from either an Instagram store or a website. And there's just been so much that has changed. So let me just take you guys back to 2013. So like I said, I finished my high school in December 2012. So the first 6 months of 2013, around that time is when I was studying for my nail care course, and I was just being free. Like, I didn't have so much on my plate. I had more time to just chill and hang around, because like I said, my beauty course was only 3 months at the time. So I just remember, you know, being in town a lot. And also that's because the beauty school I went to, Ashley's, is actually in town, or rather that's the branch that I actually attended. And what I'd do is I'd always go into beauty stores to either, one, buy things for my nail care kit, because obviously for you to do practicals for the course, you had to have products. So like a manicure set, nail polish, etc. So I'd go into a lot of the beauty stores in town to actually grab those. And then I'd also just go in to find out what's new, because I had started watching YouTube, and I remember wondering, are some of the things that I actually watch online from these Western content creators, are they actually there in Kenya? So that's why I'd go to the beauty stores and just walk around. I feel like some of the shop attendants used to feel so frustrated and irritated about that, because they just see this chick walking in and not buying stuff. But I was just so curious about it, because beauty is just what I'm really passionate about. And the stores that, you know, were at the peak that time were Beauty Options, Beauty Wholesale. So those two are on Kimathi Street, and also Beauty Wholesale has a branch on, or had, I'm not sure, but they also had a branch on Mama Ngina Street. So they're really close to each other. But I just remember Beauty Options being this really hot shop, like always packed. I'm telling you, when I entered there, before I even entered the shop, I had to like psychologically prepare myself, because the crowds, there were so many people. Like, there are so many people such that if you had another package from another store, you know how you need to leave your items at a certain like booth, even when you go to the supermarket, so you don't go in with them. Like, even that booth was full. Like, the guy there will just be like, just walk in with it, because there is no space for your stuff. There are just too many people in the store. I remember the aisles being packed. Like, I had to squeeze through people like this, you guys, just to look for what I want or get what I want. Or I had to like wait in line to speak to a certain shop attendant, because everyone was talking to the shop attendants. There are only so many shop attendants that can actually serve all those people. So I remember having to wait to speak to them, or if I was like on this side of the aisle and the shop attendant was like here and there are just people here, I'd just be like, hey, excuse me, I'm looking for this, because that's how packed beauty options was. Like, even paying for your items, you had to make a line. It was crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys used to go to beauty options back in the day. If you're one of those people, please comment down below. I feel like we can reminisce on this together, because it was crazy. And also beauty wholesale. Their Kimathi Street branch was still a bit new. So I think the branch that most people knew was the Mama Ngina Street. And I also think because they had two branches close to each other, it never used to get as packed as beauty options used to get. And also I noticed beauty options did have cheaper products. So I think that's why so many people used to run in there. Like, so many amazing memories. But you guys, last year, the beginning of 2020, I decided to go into town because I had an errand, and I popped into beauty options. And this was before the pandemic, so things were going on as usual. And you guys, it was a ghost town. A complete ghost town. Like, I remember entering there and I'm like, what's going on in this store? So that's a span of 7 years. And I just remember being so shocked, because I think there were only 2 people, including myself, as customers. Even the section where you used to leave your extra packages, there was no one there because people weren't coming in. And I just remember being like, what? This store, which used to have people like pouring out because it was so packed. So let's get into why I think that might have happened. So at the beginning of 2014, you know, this is when Instagram is picking up, 2014, 2015. And now we started seeing, I think I'd say between 2014 and 2016, we started seeing Instagram stores. So these are businesses that started, you know, their own pages on Instagram and were selling product online. So most of the time, I believe these are people who, you know, they couldn't really have enough capital or have access to enough capital to open an actual physical store. And so what they did is they just built up stock, or rather they just accumulated a lot of stock, either in their homes, or maybe they had a section or a place where they could put the stock, and then they just do all their transactions online. And so I think that's how most people start off their Instagram stores. And this started really picking up. And also this is when now bodas and motorbikes were really coming into the market as a form of transport for, you know, people, passengers, and also for business reasons, so for deliveries. So, you know, you could order your product online via this Instagram store by DMing them, and then they will give your package to a rider who will actually deliver it to your place or your space, wherever you are. And so that's the trend that really started it. But that's how basically we are where we are now. And Instagram stores are still going strong, and a lot of these stores that started as Instagram stores, for example, the 25th Hive, who I think have just done such an amazing job on, you know, e-commerce as far as the beauty industry is concerned. They went ahead and actually opened their own website, and they also opened an actual physical store. So I think what happened with the beauty options, and beauty wholesale is still there, but I also think it's not doing as well, is because these guys never really jumped onto e-commerce. I think it's something they may have ignored because they were doing so well. Like I said, you know, they were fully packed in their stores. And then we have these other guys, you know, the 25th Hive, who were early adopters and decided, you know what, let's actually try sell product via this platform, which is Instagram, and just see how it goes. And that time, millennials like myself, and also now the Gen Zs, were heavily on Instagram, trying to figure out this new platform and starting up their own profiles. Woo, excuse me, and starting up their own profiles. So, you know, these guys took this up, they took up this opportunity, they joined, or rather they decided to be part of this online wave, and I think they really benefited from it. Unlike these other guys who completely ignored the power of social media, the power of having a website, just basically the power of e-commerce. And I feel like that's kind of led to them really not doing as well as they were. So under retail, the next thing I want to talk about is availability of products and access to shipping. So because back in the day, shipping in products, first of all, was very expensive, because I think it was only like DHL and Wells Fargo which were the only service providers as far as shipping is concerned. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they tend to be a bit pricier for the regular consumer, especially if someone is just looking to buy a few beauty products for themselves. And then most supermarkets were also not stocking a lot of beauty products. Like you guys, the supermarkets have really changed up their game as far as the beauty aisle is concerned, because I'd go there and it was just petroleum jelly, body lotion, that's it. Like there wasn't as much variety as far as beauty is concerned, but that's really changed so much. You can find so many skincare, makeup products, hair care products, nail care products just in the supermarket alone. And also now we have other private companies which can actually help you ship your products at a lower price. So it's also become easier to ship in products and also to access products, because supermarkets have, you know, upped their game. We've definitely have had more beauty stores, especially online, open up, so we have more access to these products. And finally, let's talk about the target demographic and also the purchasing power of the beauty consumer. So I've noticed most beauty brands or most beauty companies tend to heavily target millennials and Gen Zs in their marketing. So I'm talking about anyone between the age of 17 and I'd say 30, somewhere around that age, maybe even up to 32, but let's just say 17 to 30 years old. So those are the people that are heavily targeted when it comes to marketing of beauty products. And I think it's because when the beauty boom was happening, it's actually my generation, like the millennial generation and, you know, the Gen Zs who were really open to it, especially because it's mainly us who are using social media, and the beauty boom was also happening on social media as well. So I feel like it was only natural for brands to feel like, hey, let's target these guys because they're really active on social media. They're always keeping up to date with the latest beauty trends. And then specifically in Kenya, I've noticed our generation is more open to playing with makeup. So I feel like that's why also a lot of beauty brands target that generation. But I do feel like the baby boomers, or the people between the ages of 35 to 45, I do hope I got that generation correct, but people between the ages of 35 to 45 tend to be really left out of the conversation, because one, ageism. I think we tend to view beauty as something that only exists in your youthful years. So from being a teenager to your 20s and maybe to your late 20s. So because of that, I also feel like brands are not looking to actually speak to women above the age of 35, unfortunately, because of ageism. And also something else that I feel like brands, especially luxury brands, also need to understand, and this is just my personal opinion, especially here in Kenya. So let's just talk of some of the luxury brands that we can find here in Kenya. So we have Mark, they do have stores here. Linton's provides products like Clinique. I've seen they also do offer products from Estee Lauder. La Roche-Posay is currently diving into the market. So these brands, I do feel like they should invest in targeting women that are 35 and above, and I think that's mainly because of purchasing power. Generally speaking, your average 24-year-old doesn't have 7,000 bob to spend on a face serum. And I know there are so many levels to this, and you know, social class is intertwined with so many different things, but we're just speaking in general terms here. Your average 24-year-old is not as likely to afford a Lancome foundation compared to a woman who is 38 years old. Maybe she's further up in her career, in terms of her position either in her company, and specifically how much she's actually earning. So she's more likely to be able to afford products from these particular brands. But like I said, I do notice that brands are still heavily focused on the millennials and Gen Zs, and they're missing out on this key market. So like I said, I do know that the beauty boom did find the Gen Zs and millennials coming up, or you know, really more invested in the beauty industry. But I do think these high-end brands, what they can do to actually capture this gold mine of a market, which is women between 35 and 45 years old. Of course, I know this is for a specific group of people, probably middle-class women. What they can do is actually do like educational type of marketing. You know, how to use a powder foundation, how to use a skin tint, you know, how to use hydrating face masks and stuff like that, and have either pop-up stores or even virtual events where these women can actually learn more about beauty products and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's more likely that these women do have the pocket to actually purchase some of their products. And on that note, I have noticed there's one brand that's been trying to capture both markets, which I think is really interesting, because you know, some brands either do baby boomer alone or millennial and Gen Z alone, and I think it's Pauline Cosmetics. I've noticed they're trying to capture the 21-year-old and the 37-year-old, which I find really interesting. And I've just been looking at their page and been looking at their trajectory, and I just find it really interesting how they're really open to, you know, having women of all age groups served by their products. So that is the end of part 1, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me in having this little conversation. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Yeah, because I do find that there's so much to discuss in the beauty industry, specifically here in Kenya, and I just feel like there's not enough content on this. So please feel free to share with me your thoughts as a consumer, as a business owner, as a service provider. I will definitely love to hear your thoughts on Kenya's beauty industry, and be sure to stay tuned for part 2.